Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Shouldn't be
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 523. We're live tonight, Monday, March 27th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Paul. And Catherine.
Hello.
And Anna.
Hello. Not last this time.
And Phil.
What's up?
So you notice tonight that everyone's audio works, Paul. Somehow, when I join Paul's show, he can't get my audio to work.
Hey, I'm sorry. That was a real faux pas.
It's because you didn't have sky cauliflower.
And the thing I can't understand is you're using the same software I use, so it's not like it's an OBS thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we spent like 10 minutes talking about it last show. Let's not dwell.
Let's
there.
not. It's right.
No, we should. We should, talk about it again. So here we go. Hopefully, we don't have any more technical issues, at least tonight. So.
A public apology from me because I was embarrassed, and the show was worse off because you weren't there.
No, I'm sure it was better. I mean, who cares about these masterpiece figures? Like, I have to push an actual oof to the TFYLP show because you guys are sitting there just talking about some masterpiece nonsense.
Oh, if you don't want engaging content for the fans anymore, we can definitely not do that anymore.
I thought they had great chemistry together.
Yeah.
Well, you should see the chemistry of Rob and I off the air. All sorts of chemicals being made.
Oh, really? Well, there we go.
We'll leave that up to the viewer's interpretation and talk about something else.
And I know Rob gets very sad too because it's just you and him essentially, talking about the masterpiece stuff because, we have plenty of other people on the show that, buy the masterpiece, but to actually have people that open and mess with the masterpiece in a timely fashion is because I know that I feel like a lot of the rest of us kind of have a stack going of, oh, there we go.
I could have talked about Trailbreaker.
Kind of.
Well, Rob kind of snuck that one on me. I just let him have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Rob
figured
didn't
you
give
would
us
kick
a
him off when
chance.
he did it. I figured you'd just be like, get off. This isn't Skyfire.
It was at the end. It's good enough. Good enough for old
Paul
beer
was
belly.
Tired.
Well, and the thing that's kind of interesting to me about Skyfire a little bit is like, I haven't really seen a lot. And again, it may just be whatever feed that I have going on, Facebook and whatnot. But like, I don't feel like it's been that huge of an event. And in a lot of the masterpiece figures in general, and that's the thing I know going back, Paul, that, some of these third-party figures kind of like steal the thunder from Masterpiece because you're like, oh, well, who cares? It's another Trailbreaker. Oh, who cares? It's another Jetfire. It's like we already have, that box checked years ago.
Well, I think, Rob, we did discuss all this. And, the one thing that I didn't really consider, but I understood why, but I didn't understand, like, the fallout. It wasn't available through Amazon Japan. So a lot of people didn't get it until Hasbro got it. Not everybody, like some people got it through other means, but it was harder to get than it has been. than other Masterpiece has for the past 5 years. And so people just haven't gotten it yet to have opinions and talk about it. And I think once that happens, it'll be like a floodgate. Because I haven't seen one person say like this toy is not worth it. You know, if anything, it's like this is awesome. So I think that release situation had something to do with it. But topically, it seems like Japan, Takara Tomy, is now creating sort of an interim. They're allowing people outside of the U.S. to buy Takara Tomy Mall exclusives, which I think is crazy news. Like that, to me, that's awesome because they have so many things that I would like to buy if they were easier to get.
It's good.
Like Siege. Let me just rattle off a few. The Earthrise, sorry, I'm sputtering here. The Galactic Odyssey, like 2-pack of Ratchet and Lifeline all this stuff was like Takara Tomy Mall exclusives in Japan. Siege, Skywarp, and the things she came with, the 3 Battle Masters, and the Conehead set was also, all that stuff was available in Japan only through Takara Tomy Mall. And if there's an option to get this stuff when it's like hard to get in the U.S., it's just another option. You know, you could save like $100 getting it from Japan and just having a sticker on the box which is kind of cool even to show that it's Japan. So just, more on that as we learn, but that is a new piece of news that just came out, I think, today.
Sorry, I missed this news. Like, we can actually get stuff from Takara Tomy Mall?
Anna, do you know more about this?
They just put up an official link to one of the companies you can use to make third-party purchases through them. And they basically endorsed it. They said you can use Bai or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So it's not. It's
like
just like
third-party importer.
Yeah, it's not as like open as say Amazon Japan is, where it's just like you can make an account in the US and they don't give a damn whatever. Send them money, they're fine with it. It's more like they know that there's this like third-party thing you can do, and they're just like, hey, we endorse it. Come on, buy our crap. So I think it's great because then you don't have to worry about, getting an email that's like, oh, your account's been suspended because you were doing something sketchy or whatever, because it's no longer sketchy, right? That it's just like normal purchasing, which it should have been years ago. But hey, we're here and now we have it. And maybe I'll get that all red Target Master. Who knows?
Well, that's a different.
Oh, yeah.
That's.
I know.
Story, yeah. That's still.
I know.
Those are they still have some hoops we got to jump through, and that's one of them.
Maybe we'll get there someday.
Maybe. That's called going to BotCon or TFCon and buying it from Azusa for $15.
So I guess now, like it's always been the case with Takara Tomy or just anything with Japan, where effectively someone in Japan, you have to find someone there to buy it for you. Then they independently will like ship the thing to you and tack on an additional processing fee, whatever it may be. Is that essentially kind of like what this like new business is doing? It's just a little more, I guess, somewhat official.
I believe so.
And the fee I thought was pretty nominal. I thought it was like $3 per item.
Nothing. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before it was like
you'll still pay a lot for shipping.
Yeah.
I think this option may have already been there through Bai, but like now it's officially sanctioned through the partner company, the source, Takara Tomy Mall, and it sounds like they're working out. Since it is officially sanctioned, it's going to be some cost savings there. So, but we'll know more in the next year or so when some of us try it.
Yeah, it's exciting, somewhat.
Well, I'm curious with this option if Takara is doing this because they want to try to sell more things exclusively through the Tomy Mall. Because, again, before there was a lot of stuff where it's like, I'm just going to, general retail in Japan, and, you can go get it through Amazon Japan or HLJ or Nippon Yusan and Ami, there's, I don't know, however many other different companies that kind of do that. as well. So I'm wondering if like maybe that they're trying to transition to more of a Tomy Mall exclusive kind of thing to sell their stuff.
Maybe.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah, I only brought it up because I thought it was topical with the Skyfire, discussion. So, but that's not what we're here for, right?
It's also about buying stuff, which is what tonight is about. It's about having buying stuff.
Well, we haven't had
that buy you to your money.
I was gonna say we haven't had an oof, ouch, whatever you call it, for a little bit here. So we figured I've been getting lots of stuff in myself, and I figured you guys probably have as well. So why not go ahead and showcase some of that stuff?
Yeah, typically we bring
timer per item.
We bring a Pain Wallet show in when the host has something to share. Typically, that's when we put the effort in.
Right.
I wish it was. If I hadn't had a kid, this would be more of a regular thing. It'd be part of our repertoire. But I'm still learning how to be an adult. When I'm done with that, I'll be back.
All right. Well, I guess who wants to start?
I can
start.
Go ahead, Ava.
I think partially, like, this may just been that Lucas wanted to do it, but I also asked for it last week. I was like, hey, I want to do an ouch because these elitists aren't allowing me to show off my third-party crap on their Skyfire show. So I get to show off things, and that's nice. I actually haven't got to talk about the TFCon exclusives yet, even though TFCon was like, 4 months ago at this point? 1,000? It was a long time ago. Like at least a couple years. Yeah.
Anna's got TFCon 2016 exclusives to show off.
I do, but they're not here. They're downstairs. But anywho, actually there is one right over there. Anyway, I want to show off the newest MMC cassette, which is coming through wonderfully on the camera with lots of light glare. They have finally started releasing their Autobot cassettes very awkwardly. At the last TFCon, they put out their Steel Jaw, which is not very good, and people have started talking about it as the normal release is slowly trickling out that one wasn't very good. So I was very nervous about the version of Motif here. So this is their Rewind that they have released in G1 style. This isn't the More Than Meets the Eye Rewind that people care about. This is the G1 one that didn't do anything. And they have continued to do their cute little boxes. So this is their Blaster box. Last time they did Billy. This time they did Blaster. So it's got the blue and the yellow. It's fun. It's always a fun way. They always package these things to the nines. And then you get it and you're like, is this good or not? Who knows? It even comes with the traditional size cassette case. A lot of people have been asking me because they slept so long on these cassettes that people forgot what size they were, and these are traditional cassette size. All right, this is an actual traditional audio cassette box.
I did not realize that was how big they were.
Yeah, they're big. They're not.
But like traditional cassette size is pretty cool. I didn't think of that.
They would actually fit in if you had that old Transformers cassette player, or if you just had a boombox laying around, you could stick it in there and then break the toy by turning the radio on. But so I don't have him in cassette mode. I can easily put him into cassette mode afterwards. But here he is in his robot mode glory.
Looks nice.
Little gold gun.
Looks pretty nice.
All the details.
Does the chest split?
The chest actually, for transformation, it splits and flips all the way around and goes to the top, and then the back does the same thing. The transformation on this thing is so simple, right? Like where Steel Jaw went convoluted insanity, where you have to literally be doing 2 movements at the same time in order to get several parts to transform, and you don't get a very good lion out of it for doing so. This one is very simplified compared to the Rumble and Frenzy. Like he's not as complex as they are, and they're not complex to the point where they're hard to transform or anything. They just have more complexity than this guy does. This guy's very simple, very easy to transform, very intuitive, and generally pretty cool. You know, he has a lot of articulation everywhere where you want it, except for the ankles. No ankle tilt.
Aw.
No
Oh,
ankle tilt in
boo.
2023. What kind of this is this? But his wrist swivel and his head moves. He's got waist movement and a little bit of like chest movement as well. So you can get a little bit of variety of poses with his torso movements, which is nice. No ankle tilt, but the entire lower legs are all metal. So if you're into that, if you're like, ooh, diecast, I love diecast, then here's your diecast. He's got metal legs, so
Nice.
he definitely will stay standing up for you once you get him standing up. I like him quite a bit. He's pretty good. Just that ankle tilt is strangely missing because Rumble and Frenzy have ankle tilt but no wrist swivel. So he has wrist swivel and no ankle tilt.
So Anna, if you could only choose one, would it be wrist swivel or ankle tilt?
I think ankle tilt. I think that's been kind of the thing, like where I've actually started to like a lot of the modern Hasbro stuff because they've been making the choice to go ankle tilt instead of wrist swivel. I can get around wrist swivel with posing. Ankle tilt is just kind of something you can't. Now, he doesn't so much need it because he has so much weight in his legs that you can actually balance him in poses that would normally require some ankle tilt, but his legs are just so heavy that he poses okay in them. So, yeah.
And we had, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I need to
We
stop
had talked
talking.
about this a little bit in the text chat earlier today. What are some of his questionable accessories?
So he comes with, and I'm going to try to not have these flop on me. He comes with 4 more heads.
It's a lot of head.
So he doesn't come with 1 head, he comes with 4. He also comes with 2 sets of shoulder pads that I think the point in them is to get him closer to the More Than Meets the Eye look. But he doesn't come with a More Than Meets the Eye style head. He comes with 2 of the kind of G1 style that I always call like a squinty ninja face. And then 2 that I don't, or 3 that I honestly don't know what they go to. So I know my camera can't really handle close-ups of faces, but if you could see him, you would notice, and I'll take pictures later and share them on the Discord at least. If you could see his face really good, you would notice that he actually has no mouth guard and a visor, which is not a version of his face that I've seen elsewhere. We tried to figure it out in book club last night and really couldn't figure out where that's from. I've asked people and don't really know why, but he comes with 3 faces like this, 1 yelling, 1 smiling, and 1 straight face. And they're all this kind of open face visor look. Not sure what it's for, but it looks good. It's a good look. It's just not really technically homaging anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, nor could anyone in our text chain today identify where that face came from. And we've got quite a few experts in that group as well as in the Discord. So,
Well,
this seems to have come out of whole cloth.
I think it's fairly obvious that with a total of 5 heads, he's a secret quintesson.
Ooh, there we go.
How dare they come up with something new? How dare they?
With all these heads, I'm lying to myself and saying that they're going to make Rosanna for the next convention because they did Glit, right? They did Glit like 30 years ago. So they've got to do Rosanna eventually so I can have all my cosplayers. Cassettes.
I'm
And
sure they
form.
will probably. MMC definitely will get you a repaint of whatever you want.
They will, but I just wonder, since they never did Sundor, they never did the orange version of Laserbeak, which is also one of the Kiss Players characters. I'm wondering if they're going to rip me off and not do Rosanna either. But if they did, as a 2-pack, I would totally buy it. No one else would. Probably not a good idea. Financially, most people don't care about Kiss Players.
I don't know. It might be an unmade.
Yeah, it would be pretty.
Now,
it would be pink and have hearts on it.
Do you have the reformatted Rewind?
I do. He is right here.
I was just
going to
curious
compare
the
them.
size. Yeah, I was curious the size
similar.
comparison between the
A
two.
little taller, okay.
So he is bigger
It's definitely
than
taller.
he's bigger than the one that came with Chrome Dome. The reformatted one that came with Chrome Dome. He is larger. His head is the same size, I could not pry this guy's head off though, because I was wondering if maybe they meant some of the extra heads as extra heads for him. I don't think this one's head is on the same kind of ball joint. I'm not one to put a lot of pressure on my figures though, so once it gave a little resistance, I was out. So who knows? It's honestly, like, looking at it, it kind of, to me, redeemed this figure a lot, because it was like, actually this is pretty decent. And when you put them side by side, you can kind of see, you know, they're two different versions of the same guy. That's kind of neat. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one.
Now I kind of want Hasbro to do deluxe scale cassettes.
I liked what MMC's doing with these, giving you the cassettes in the size that they usually showed up in the cartoon after they transformed, right? Because, you know, this is to scale with MP figures. He's about the same height as like a normal Bumblebee figure. So he stands like a mini car person, but he's really short compared to Blaster, Soundwave, those guys. And it's really neat that they've done that. And now they've supplied tons of the characters, right? They've done him, and they've done Stilljaw and Ravage and Laserbeak and the Rumble and Frenzy. That's actually it. So hopefully they keep going with these.
So Anna, 2 questions for you. One from the chat. Ryan Vegtech said, "What is this audio cassette size thing you speak of, and how much of a Spotify playlist size is that?"
I actually have no idea how much data is stored on an old audio cassette. I feel like there's other experts for that in the world.
I mean, what was it, like maybe 2 hours, like 120 minutes worth of music? So yeah, like give or take like 90 minutes to 120 minutes. Well, I mean, you could buy different size cassettes. So
you could.
If you were making your own mixtape, you could buy different sizes. So that, yeah, but we're talking, you know, 120 minutes, each song being 4 minutes per song, like 30 song playlist.
If you ask a question, we'll answer it, even if it's outside of our area. We just do it. That's just who we are.
And then, Anna, with this being an oof, ouch, what kind of ouch did this put on your pocketbook?
Yeah, so these have steadily increased in price since they first started existing, right? Like they started around 60 and now they're around 90 each. So they're just getting to be more and more expensive as time goes. And I just wanted to show the actual cassette look. It's really nice on it. No spool of tape, of course. But yeah, they're pretty expensive now, unfortunately. They've actually shot up in price quite a lot, because the Stilljaw costs just as much. He was not as satisfying. When I look at this thing, I ask myself, you know, is this a $90 figure? It's like, I like it a lot, so it's fine for me. I like the lopsided chest is get going right now. Pretty nice. But would I tell people that they should get in this game now and spend $90 a piece to get all the cassettes that are out when there's like 10 of them? Oh, that's a hefty cost of entry.
Will you buy Eject when he comes out?
Yep, definitely. Gotta have the two together. This is a good mold. Like it's not as like, wow, this is really impressive, everything they packed into this cassette as Rumble and Frenzy are, but it's still pretty impressive that it's a full transforming man figure packed into an actual audio cassette size, right? It's actually pretty cool, pretty impressive. It's just not, I guess because Rumble and Frenzy already happened, it doesn't seem as wow. But in a way, this is actually cooler because I can transform this thing really fast. And it's the first one that I've actually really wanted to play with, right? Like I want to transform this guy multiple times, and he looks a lot like a cassette, so it's cool. So yeah, I'll get his brother, and I guess I'll get Ramhorn Rhino Face if he comes out, sure. If they make him eventually, which they will.
All right, what do you got? Who's next here?
Well, do you think they'll make Solar Bot? I would get.
I don't know if they're gonna make the oddballs. Like they They only, for Rumble and Frenzy, all they did with them was enemy and clear versions of Rumble and Frenzy. So they never did like weird guys off of them.
I think that's about all there is.
Did they do
That's about all there is.
any Shattered Glass ones?
I don't think off of Rumble and Frenzy.
Okay.
Technically, the Kiss Players split is very similar in look to Shattered Glass Ravage, right? There's enough differences that technically that figure isn't Shattered Glass Ravage, but you can use it as him. It's close enough. So yeah, someone else take it off.
I'll go.
All right, Paul, what you got?
At long last, I got the anime hot rod.
Oh, there you go.
Which I'm so excited for this figure, and I'm so excited to debut this here. But here it is. This is a all-new deco of Hot Rod as he appears in the movie, and he's pink or magenta, which is all I've ever wanted. It's the only thing. It's the only thing I've ever asked for.
You've been talking about getting a magenta hot rod for I don't know how many years I've known you, Paul.
I know, it just rolls off the tongue. What's funny is, like, this has kind of become a thing now because of those triple takeover guys. You know, they like are all about the pink hot rod because there's a lot of history here that I'm not sure if everyone knows. I mean, they're touting this as anime, you know, the G1 Retro line, which is showing up at Walmart, is what this is in. It's all G1 toys in decos from the film, the animated film. And so this is really the color he is in the movie. And what's also notable about this is there's all sorts of paint decos that aren't there in old versions of this toy. Like this part is not gray and orange. I mean, there's a whole paint tampo on the chest. His collar is orange. Like, there's all sorts of cool stuff going on here. And his pipes are not chrome.
Oh, they're like a whitish.
Yeah, they're like a white plastic. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't know if this is showing up at Walmart's, but they're shipping these now. And this isn't what I'm really excited to show you, though. What I really want to show you is what I just finished while Anna was talking, which is my
It took
custom.
a long time.
Well, I had to put the stickers on. This is what I really wanted this thing for, which is to make the prototype. Everyone knows Hot Rod was red as a toy, but he's pink in the movie, right? Like, I'm sure that, I think that kind of the myth is that someone at Hasbro, I can hear you clicking, Phil, it's really loud. Sorry. The myth is that someone at Hasbro is like, this is the main guy in the movie. We're not making a pink toy of the man, of the hero. So they made him red, but there's prototypes of him as pink. And they are like very rare. They're in a lot of like stock photography and that kind of thing. And so what I did is I took one of they reissued Walmart a few years ago. They were reissued Hot Rod at Walmart a few years ago. I took one of those. I had some spares, and I took him apart and I did a part swap here. This is essentially, you know, paint removal and part swap to get as close. I mean, maybe there's a few things you could do, but I got as close as possible to the original prototype, which those go for like $2,000 to $5,000, and you did this for $30. And I love the chrome on this. It's kind of gaudy, but like adding the chrome pipes really makes a difference. Really makes it sing. And I actually transplanted the sticker off of this guy onto here. So this is the first pink Hot Rod. You can actually do this quite easily. I love this so much. That's it. Maybe no one else cares. I mean, like, why do you want this pink Hot Rod, dude? It's not the real thing. It's fake. Yeah, I know, but I think it's cool.
Well, see,
A lot of people make customs.
you should
normal.
be giving Hasbro an idea now to do that, because they've only released this hot rod. I don't know. It's probably been like half a dozen times, right? Over the years.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is good enough. Like, if there's only like a handful of people that care enough to do this. I've seen other people do this mod though, because a part swap is not as heavy duty of a mod as like completely customizing your toy. Well, Phil, look at the arms on that thing, like the shoulders. Is there a pin in there holding the arms on?
Yes.
So check this out. This is like the new mold is just a friction tab.
Oh, wow.
So there's lots, that's one way to tell if you got a reissue or not.
Yeah.
FYI. And the engine on this one, on both of these reissues, is the Target Master engine, so you can fit the gun in there and stuff. So just you learn a lot by taking these things apart. Like, there's all sorts of little tells that make it very clear that you have a reissue, and that's one of them. So usually there's a pin in the shoulder areas on the originals, but they've remolded it and filled it in and just made it like two little ball joint things. So honestly, if you're going to try to, I've seen some people make this with the pink hot rod, and they like, oh, I want it to be authentic. I'm going to use a G1 junker or something. I'm like, good luck, because like some of the parts don't match. Like, but if you use these two reissues in the past 3 years, it works very well. And you can use the sticker sheet from the other reissue and do this stuff, and chromey. I even swapped out the rub sign. Like, I took a heat gun and like peeled it off, and then put spray adhesive on it and put it back on. I've never done that before, so.
Oh, nice.
Your stickers came out clean. They look nice.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I used tweezers. That's why I was so intently. Anyways, I've been really looking for. I think these anime reissues are awesome. The retros are super cool. Hound's is supposed to be out next month, and I think Thundercracker too. I'm not so excited about that. It is kind of cool because like we've never gotten that G1 toy in the powder blue, but
the colors look really nice on those. Like, just getting those animation colors, because I'm always the one who's saying like we never get the actual animation colors. We always get like nice looking versions of the animation colors, but then like the literal animation colors are just cartoony and bright and ridiculous. And when I've seen the pictures of that Thundercracker, it's just like, ooh, that's pretty, right? Like, that is a nice pretty blue that he is.
Yeah, for some reason, they've really got the cell color. They look almost cell shaded, like the way that they're done. Like, they all feel like a cupcake that I want to just devour. They're so good. So, highly recommended by me if you like G1 stuff. Even if you don't, you've always been like, well, I wonder what, say you're part of the new guard and you're like, I wonder what G1 toys are like. Try these. These are the best. These are, I don't think we've ever gotten reissues that are this cool.
Well, I think that,
and the thing is too with the reissues like move well. If you buy an old G1 toy, like I just transformed my hot rod. That's what all the clicking was. Like, that took me a while. Not because it's a hard transformation, but it's just like his joints are a little bit stuck. Or you'll have one that's all loosey goosey. So yeah, I mean, having the reissues is a way to interact with those molds, but not be terrified you're going to break a $100 35-year-old toy.
I feel the same way. Christian and I were talking about those KO Dinobots that are being released in some of the various selling sites now, and they cost like $30 a piece. They're not that expensive. And I don't like touching my Dinobots anymore, my original ones, because they make some loud, creaky sounds when I mess with them. And several of them are so loose that I really can't do much with them when I do actually play with them. So getting a reissue of those would be really cool. I don't think we're going to get reissued Dinobots. I hope we do someday, but getting to play with them again is nice.
I imagine you're talking about sliding Grimlock's like wrist, like forearm over his joint. Yeah, that's probably a squeaky mess.
Well,
my G1 Sludge's legs are just like wet noodles at this point.
Mine too. That's the one I was thinking about doing. It's just like Sludge got so loose over the years.
His neck was first to go for me.
Oh yeah. Mine is all the time, head down. He's sad.
Yeah, I mean, reissues and KOs they're great for play value, you know.
Yeah, if you want to mess with these fossils, because these are like, at this point, these toys are really old. Expecting them to keep performing well for us is really kind of crazy. So getting reissues makes sense.
Yeah, I always bring it up though, like this, and there's something about these reissues I don't like is they're meant to confuse the market, and then like 10 years down the road, people are pawning them off as 35-year-old, 40-year-old toys, you know, that look brand new, and there's people get fooled all the time. I see it in groups all the time. People selling something like, "Oh, I found this in my closet. It's 30 years old," and I was like, "Look at the box. It says Takasa Tommy." You know, like it's not real, and it takes, and you know, thank God in that particular instance, out of 500, there was an expert there to kind of tell you. And you know, did the guy not know, or was he just barking up the wrong tree, or was you know, it sucks. It confuses the market. Is all I'm saying. So beware.
Yeah. No, I mean that is one thing I'll say just in general about some of the reissues, is depending on what it is, it can be hard, especially some of the accessories too, of trying to figure out like, oh, is this, you know, because I'm sure a lot of people are probably doing that where they're like, oh, I lost the accessories for XYZ figure, you know, and now I can buy a reissue Devastator and get all the guns and all that I'm missing off of my G11, you know, kind of.
And you saw it as authentic later.
Well, but like, I mean, I don't even necessarily know it's as nefarious as that is that it just passes hands a couple times and then you just kind of forget about it, or you even forget that you're like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, after a few years and enough figures, you're like, oh, like, you know, was this the original? Like, you know, what did I do with this? I know I put together last, you know, because a lot of us do parts parties and such to try and complete figures, and, you know, say that you forget, like, you know, where whatever came from. But
well, look what I've done. I've just confused
for you.
I just confused the market on prototype hot rods, so now someone might end up paying $5,000 for this someday by accident because I did such a good job.
Right. Paul's custom. There you go. He's like, I know what I've got.
I have enough of these reissues where I'm like, maybe I should like produce a few of these and see if people buy them. But I don't know. It was a lot of work because I went all the way with it. Like all the parts that, like, I didn't just keep all the yellow parts on. I wanted the old looking yellow parts on. And it's like only I could tell the difference. So I like swapped literally, and the tires and the feet, everything.
Throw one up and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I have to make another one. Now that I have all the tools, I could probably do it in a day. But this took me like over 4 days because I had to buy a soldering iron and all that stuff. Anyways, it was fun, and I think that is a release everyone should check out if they can.
And then you can make a special edition, you know, PF version of like all the crap that's left over from, you know, making the crappier version. Yeah, there you go. It's like, here you go. I got the special, you know, whatever. But
that's the Danny DeVito twin.
right, exactly. But yeah, that's one thing that I do appreciate the guys like, you know, Maz or the Triple Takeover guys, you know, all those people that do document a lot of those differences, because every single reissue does have a difference. And I know, like, when I first got, you know, back into Transformers, it's like, I didn't realize that. And, you know, there's other guys out there that are like, oh no, like, you can tell that this reissue, that the windows are like this, it has this stamp, it, you know, whatever, down the line of all the different ways to tell on the stuff. So,
well, that's what got me into character collecting and variant hunting, because even G1 Hot Rod, there are versions that have metal feet and plastic feet. Mm-hmm. Plastic wheels and rubber tires, you know, like each of those is a different release. It really is. And so even without the reissues, there are still differences to be documented within the general release stuff.
So, anyway, all right. Well, I guess that's very cool, Paul. And now, the other thing I was going to say too about the reissues is I actually really like this newest round because it's something that's different. I feel like the older reissues that they released a few years ago, like to me, they were almost more about like keeping them in the box. Like I didn't actually think the versions of those figures were all that great. That they weren't as nice as like a nice copy of like previous reissues or previous G1 stuff, whereas these ones actually do kind of feel premium just because they have that nice paint job.
And no, they don't come with stickers because they're not supposed to. So everyone crying about the star screen saying it looks dumpy, like no, that's the point. It's not supposed to have the stickers.
And I'm in the minority in terms of this cast because I'm not a giant fan of those G1 cartoon colored reissues because to me, I am so much more used to seeing how they look as the toy. So when you give me the toy, when you give me the 3-dimensional plastic thing, I expect it to have far more detail than what these G1 cartoon colored ones have. Like Hound, very much. I enjoy that pastel green they're using on the Hound toy, but it just feels so bare, when you consider what the G1 Hound looked like with all his military, type stickers.
We have a pretty diverse cast selection that we have somebody that likes almost everything. Except Bayverse stuff, but...
Oh, Serge does,
Well,
but I mean, if he's ever...
Yeah,
sure.
And Christian.
Yeah.
Serge grew up.
All
right. So who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So I bought a good amount of stuff from the Pulse warehouse sale, and what I've been saying for months now is just like I'm gonna wait till stuff's on sale. There's stuff I want to buy, and there's stuff I'll pay full price for, but I feel like there's more stuff I'll feel better about paying a discounted price for, and this guy was one of them. And so we got Shoki here. And I don't know if anyone, I know we've talked about him on the show. I don't know if anyone's ever shown him off on an episode of the show. So he is the MPG Shoki. This is not Moon Studios. This is Takara Tomy. I like him. He is far from perfect. So don't take this as that I think he's perfect. You can see here his back is just got, like that is brilliant. He's the nerd in school walking around with a giant backpack, and you just need a slight breeze to knock him on his tail. There's a huge amount of like missing space here by his legs. If I transform him properly, I think from all the pictures I looked at, he is transformed properly. But he's pulling double duty in terms of needing to transform into a train, of which he looks perfect as a train, and needing to be the body of the Gestalt as well as being, this robot here. But for what it is, I enjoy him. I really, really enjoy his head sculpt. That head sculpt there with that, very Japanese face to it. It's just very, I don't know. I always thought, Shoki was just like trained bot prowl, and they at least changed how his face looks to differentiate that a little bit. So yeah, he's fun. He's got I like the color scheme a lot. He's a little stumpy. This train is pretty darn long, and by the time I got done transforming him, like especially when I transformed the legs, I was like, is this as long as his legs are going to be? Because he feels really short. And part of that is because this whole backpack section here basically forms like a whole front half of the train, and then like these little wings he's got there. It is a fun toy. Now, original retail on this guy was like around 150. With the Pulse sale, I paid just about 100, maybe a couple bucks over 100. I don't know if I would say he's worth even the 100. I mean, I would say he is if I had to compare him to Motormaster, he's probably along that line. Like, you don't get as much stuff with him. Motormaster, you got a lot more toy than this guy, but this guy's a lot higher quality. So to me, he's more Commander, pricing is what I'd put him at versus the 150 that he's asking for. Now, deepdiscount.com the other day had the second train bot Gatsui for like $60, and I was able to order him at that, and he shipped. So I've heard like some people were able to order him.
Thanks for the heads up, bro.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So I was at work at the time. Leave me alone. That I feel is very much a deal. But 150 for this guy would not pay it. 100 I feel better about, but I was talking to Christian about this the other day. I feel like paying less than 100 per figure on this, I will feel good, and that's going to be my mission, is to build right in here for less than $600.
I hope you do it.
So, yeah. But I mean, if you've been on the fence with them, you can find them for a good price. Like, if someone's selling them, like I'm sure you're going to find people who will resell this. I would say if you can get them for under $100, it's a fun toy. If you're going to pay more than that, if you really like them, then please, by all means, do so. The transformation, I know Rob talked about, like, and Christian and Rob have both said that he's like mainline engineering, but with more steps. And I think there's some truth to that, but it is more complex than a mainline toy. Even just some of the ways he transforms. I mean, it is, most of the outer train parts are clear plastic painted over, so that he feels a little more finicky than a mainline toy does. So you definitely should take more time than a toy that's marketed, to be played with by 8-year-olds as well as, grown ass men like we are. So that's my take on Shoki. I like him.
Would you say that he's somewhat akin to some of the older Masterpiece figures, like the MP cars, Datsuns and such, or is it just not? Like, I'm just trying to think as far as, like, transformation and, quality, all that type of thing.
Yeah, I would say he's more like that. I would say he's more complex than Skids. If I were to rank him, I would say he is probably more akin to Trax. Whereas, hey, really, really good alt mode. Robot mode leaves a little bit to be desired, but overall, pretty fun. I know people bemoan Trax and don't like him. I don't know. He's not perfect, but I think Trax is a pretty darn good toy. MP Trax.
Well, I mean, everything has to have a worst thing, like a worst one, right? So it's like, if you're talking MP cars, it's like, I agree that I never hated MP Trax either, but it is probably either the worst one or one of the worst ones.
Yeah. Jay, how much was GameStop asking for the train bots you saw at GameStop? Were they on sale or were they at full price? Curious if I could stumble upon these at a GameStop and maybe pick up a few more limbs for a discounted price. So whenever you hear this, Jay, because we're on a little bit delay, just type it in the chat.
How many are out now? Is it 3?
I don't know. I know 2 definitely are. I don't know if the third one has actually been released yet.
Paul, do you know? I think 3 have definitely been released, haven't they?
I'm sorry. I'm in such a stupor right now, knowing Phil got Gatsui for $60 that I have nothing to say.
How many train bots have been released?
I believe there's 6 of them that turn into Raiden. What was the question?
How many have been released, Paul?
Oh, $60.
Zaldron says 3, so we'll take Zaldron's word for it.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Zaldron. I appreciate it. Paul's just mad that you didn't get him in on the deal here. So now who's snoozing?
Betrayal.
Paul, if it so you don't feel excluded, I have a Shuki for sale.
I'm not talking about Shuki.
Yeah, I feel like in general with the train bots that like I almost kind of wish that those would have come out in generations, and then I kind of wish that they would have done this for Devastator, because I would definitely, I feel like in again, like I don't know about Asia, and I realize there's probably a lot in the Asian market of train collectors and such that are probably picking these up that aren't necessarily Transformers fans. But I almost feel like that if you want a really high end combiner, that Devastator is the way to go, not necessarily Raiden.
There's something to be said about this being a test run, and work out some kinks on a combiner that is gives you a little bit of wiggle room, because didn't have that much screen time. So, you could kind of screw it up a little bit and people won't be coming down your front porch with torches and pitchforks. There we go. I can't talk.
Well, Book Club is learning that they do show up in the manga as well.
Okay. But the manga is, going to be more simplified in terms of how they look.
No, it's really good art, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Apologize for that assumption.
All right, Catherine, what you got?
Oh, I'll go last. What do you have?
Okay, so I've got a couple, I didn't really spend a lot of money on mine. So first, I've got myself a bug. So this is definitely in bug mode. This is the side to look at them at. If feel like this is not necessarily the greatest thing. It's very simple transformation with the figure 2. But
does it transform like shrapnel does?
Huh?
Does it What did you expect? You expect it to fold outside of itself and then to recompile into a
I
robot?
don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of used to again, I've had every third party Insecticon, so I'm just kind of used to the legs being covered up with something, and I realize it's the bottom, but that's really my only complaint. I mean, otherwise it looks really cool. I mean, obviously it's a big step up from the last Hasbro release, so and it's very G1.
Does the chest open?
No, I wish.
I mean,
but they don't tease you on him like they did on Kickback.
Isn't there a cavity with Kickback? It should open. There's a hole in there, but it doesn't.
I mean, this is probably the same thing, right? I don't know. I wonder if at some point they, were going to do that, and then they decided to, to cut that out. I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing to put in there. There's not a little dude that, they put with the toy line. Oh.
That whole taunted me as a kid. What's supposed to go in it? Now I know, but...
Same thing with the Dinobots, right?
Yeah. And Catherine, I was just thinking about that same sort of experience. Having those cavities as a kid and not knowing what they were for bugged the living daylights out of me. But then I was thinking about that too, when Paul was talking about the different hot rods. I could just imagine if I had a hot rod with plastic feet and plastic tires, and a friend or a cousin had one with the metal feet and rubber tires. I think my friends and I would have lost our minds trying to figure out why they were different.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, just to show off his robot mode, Lucas. I got him last week too.
Transforming him here. I mean, it doesn't take that much.
No. And then you're saying, Paul, to your point, Needle Nose. I know he's not the Transformer that's got a ton of toys, but you could theoretically transform Needle Nose in the same style as the G1 toy did, and it'd be pretty darn close. But Needle Nose, they did a lot more engineering on him to make it more complex. That's not the case in Shrapnel.
Yeah.
Kickback was the same too. It's just straight up the original, just an oversized original mold almost.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, they look great in bot mode too. So I mean, they look great. So
They got them right the first time. No need to change it. Insecticons look great.
And they have matching color purple, right?
yeah, yeah. It's nice that these are actually coming out and they're like looking the same. I know it was so frustrating with the original ones, and you couldn't get the Takara versions at the time because usually they would do more premium versions. I can't remember which one of the ones was like released in like their what was it, the TAV line, which it had like a huge like sticker that there was I don't know, I can't remember, there was like some game or something went along with it that you had to scan the thing, so it had this like really annoying looking sticker on it.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Japanese toys that got kind of, in my opinion, ruined with that sticker.
Yeah. But I mean, they are kids' toys, but you know, hey. So, but yeah, no, I mean, he has all the stuff. He does have ankle tilt, so that's always good.
Well, you got extra guns too, right? Like those, you got the 2 purple guns and the what used to be a chrome gun.
Yeah, and they kind of make feet almost, you know, when you put them
on. Like they made, because that's what they wanted to take those off essentially, and then made them into weapons. Why not? Do you think that would, thinking about the hot rod that I showed, like, parts on that were chrome, the gun and the mandibles or whatever. Like, how do you think that would look with chrome? Like, do you miss it, or do you like it's better this way as a flat gray?
I mean, I would take a chrome version too. If they re-released all these as a 3-pack, like, and it's the legacy buzzworthy whatever, 3-pack at Target next year, like, I'd be cool with that.
That would be good for troop building.
Yeah, well, and I guess
the
you can never
clone.
have too many, so.
Yeah, that would be cool if they did the Diaclone ones with the chrome, but right. I doubt it. It doesn't seem like kind of a thing that they are really interested in much anymore.
Well, one thing I do appreciate about these two is that they're actually pretty clean overall. Like it's like and again, like, not to say that this is anywhere in the same ballpark as like the Fans Toys ones. But the Fans Toys ones, they have those like huge backpacks with like all the gangly legs and all that. And it's almost kind of hard to position them around so that it looks decent. It makes the alt mode look cooler, and it's really neat from that. But like this is, pretty clean overall with like how the figure is.
Yeah, Shrapnel seems like the get right now. That's the one that's sold out everywhere and hard to get.
Yeah, I had to get this off of Amazon because it sold out of Pulse so quick. So, but I actually, ironically enough, got my Amazon toys before I got I think my Pulse toys are coming tomorrow.
Camera's back.
Oh, there you go.
Anna, we were done talking about that 3 people ago.
Right.
I know, I just came to show it. I spent all that time downstairs transforming this one. It's just so hard.
Very complex toy.
Very complex, yeah. I transferred this real fast, but this one, had to take naps in between. You can see the size, though.
I just now have the, like, MGO, like, thing in my head. Oh, you don't watch MGO reviews? Okay, well, anyway, never mind. Doesn't matter. He always shows it against the G1 and talks about it being precious or whatever.
Okay,
anyway.
I get it.
So, but yeah, this is a cool. It is a cool update though.
So are you going to get Bombshell, or just are you done with the Insecticons?
What are you talking about? Like, so the question is are they going to release all the deluxe Insecticons? That's the real question.
I
You
assume.
guys asked me if I got eject, so you had to ask him if he was going to get Bombshell.
We're just lucky that they're not celebrating the other Hasbro tradition of, oh, we're going to cancel that in Wave 4 and just not complete the
Oh
team.
God.
Don't worry, you can get Super 7 Bombshell.
And in my defense, we were talking about $100 toy or $90 toy for eject, and for Bombshell, we're talking like $25.
I wasn't attacking you. I was saying that it made it I can't think of the word. Consistent?
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
It's for consistency's
Rhonda's
sake.
mentioning Bombshell is going to be in Wave 4 this year, so then you very well could have it where it's hard to find just because it's like that Wave 4 syndrome.
Well, was Slammer and Pipes hard to find? No. They showed up at Ross.
Yeah,
so.
totally.
I think the realm, I guess it's hit or miss, right? You can't trust any patterns with releases, but it seems like the end of toy line blues went the opposite way with Kingdom.
I've never found crap at Ross, you guys. Like, I go to Ross and I end up buying stupid things because I feel like I'm supposed to find something there.
Stuff that shows up at Ross is stuff that Hasbro can't sell. It's not.
One time I bought a
rarely
Mars
find
converter. I bought a Mars converter at Ross.
I don't know what that is.
It's a not KO transforming figure that is sold at stores, and they're not very good.
Well, there you go.
Adam Sandler wrote a song about it, Phil.
Okay.
Big fan of Mars converters.
Song about cars.
So there you go. All right, Catherine, what you got?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go last because then I can also go first, meaning I can just do both of these figures that thematically go well together.
Oh, there you go.
And, just like you guys, classic G1 characters. Start out with Ironhide. Solid classic. Everyone loves Ironhide. I'm pretty sure this is just how everyone remembers him from the show, too.
All the love some.
Oh, damn it.
There we go. Up.
Higher.
Move
Right
it
into
the
your
other way,
face.
more towards your face.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to hold it. I was hoping I could get it stationary there.
Wow.
yeah.
Explain this.
That's how Ironhides always look.
Iron Factory Samurai. Ironhide. With his little weapon and flag stand there.
Oh, that's cool.
The weapons rack's really neat. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, okay, that's just not working. Yeah, he's a fantastic little toy. I mean, all the samurai figures have been very beautiful. And while he looks great, the one that looks even better is Grimlock.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Holy cow.
I picked them both up at TFCon, and at TFCon price, Ironhide was $45, with Grimlock being, I want to say, $85. And he was fun to transform too. He is not your default Grimlock transformation at all. He's just pretty.
Is Grimlock about the size of the G1 toy there?
I do not have a G1 toy to compare it to. The nearest deluxe Siege Freak or deluxe Hasbro would be, hold them up next to Siege Ratchet.
Okay, so no, he is a bit smaller. All right.
Yeah, they're still legends.
Yeah.
Ironhide for scale. Oops.
Wow, this is like a new continent being discovered for me. I had no idea what this was until you just showed
Yes, the samurai figures are absolutely beautiful. My favorite one of all of them is Bonsaitron. He is just a sexy bot. He's not new. I just love having him around.
Now they transform, correct?
They do, yes. So they gave Banzaitron a transformation, which as an action master he never had. And they had flexibility, like, oh, samurai mold, fine, he's like a spider tank thing.
Now Grimlock, I'm assuming, transforms into the robot. What is Ironhide transform into?
He's still kind of a van, but like it's van adjacent.
Okay.
But somehow
does it have wheels
samurai
and rolls?
looking. It makes about as much sense as the Turtles pizza thrower. It doesn't have to. It's just a vehicle.
Is it like a Cybertronian mode thing that's supposed to float, or does it have like wheels?
It has wheels. It's definitely still samurai themed because he's got the armor outside, and he's like a big weapons truck.
Okay. Speaking of the weapons, how pointy are those weapons?
Not unusually pointy. Nothing
Okay.
about them says I'm gonna draw blood.
Okay.
I do find that while Grimlock is fun to transform and just a good solid figure, the smaller Legends figures or the smaller Iron Factory guys, all the ones that are this scale, they feel a little more. They're just smaller and more delicate. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna break them, but at that size, it's what you expect.
You feel like you need to like pull out tweezers at some points in the transformation?
No, not that not
Okay.
that bad. But I'm not used to being as delicate because it's the same reason I don't have MP. Just it's a different play figure form style to like get used to playing with, and some feel a lot more solid than others.
Yeah, I will say I had a lot of Iron Factory figures back in the day, and I don't feel like I've ever broken one. So it seems like that they're all, pretty solidly, like, put together and engineered and everything.
And unlike some Grimlocks, this one has front teeth.
How many samurai figures have they released now at this point? Has it been a pretty fair amount?
Yeah, it's been quite a few. They've been doing them at least since 21. I think that was kind of when they got underway, 2021-ish. I know 23's lineup's already been mostly we already knew, but that's been further cemented from TFCon's third-party panel.
Yeah, I want to say there's at least a dozen.
Oh, more than that. I got a dozen on my shelf. And a lot of them are they're not all inaccessible yet. Like some of the older ones are starting to get hard to find, like Iron Factory tends to do. But outside some of the earliest samurai, most of them are still available. They're getting a little harder to find, so you might want to jump on them, but
yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'll definitely say about Iron Factory in general is usually, like, when they're gone, they're gone. They usually do not reissue their figures. It's very rare. And so, like, some of those older ones are really hard to track down if you're looking for those. So
yeah, I'm actually looking for a couple.
Yeah, these are crazy. Like, it's wild to me that there's a whole aesthetic subline that I was completely unaware of. It's exciting, even though it's third party garbage that I don't like. But I love that Grimlock looks really cool. Like just the concept. It's cool to see something new.
I'm kind of into the aesthetic sublines.
Yeah, that robot mode, I'm pulling up on my phone right now. That robot mode for a Samurai Grimlock is really badass.
Oh, it is. Yeah. You won't be unhappy with this Grimlock.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a Fallen, too?
Yes, they haven't revealed his alt mode yet.
It should be a log fire. That would be a good alt mode for him, since he's got the flames. but his sword looks very cool. I mean, it's a very I mean, it's samurai. I don't know.
Yeah, this could get you your own. I mean, I believe this is currently the only transforming Bonsaitron out there of anybody.
They did a was it Hunt for Decepticons?
Yeah, there's one or two.
Oh, okay, the only good one then.
Yeah. just put a qualifying statement in front of that. You're good.
Well, yeah, and so Iron Factory over the years have always done this kind of, I don't know, I guess Neo G1, I guess, like where they're just kind of their own thing. And I feel like as a lot of the other legends have went so like, G1 accurate or so, kind of mini masterpiece type of thing, that Iron Factory is kind of almost pivoted to, they're like, all right, let's do our own thing, because we're not going to compete on like making a more accurate looking than those. And so I think it seems like that this new line is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the different designs right now, and these are really astounding. The Leo Prime is really, really cool.
I have the Dark Leo or Nemesis Leo and Shattered Glass.
Is he black and red, the Nemesis one?
Yes, and he's not a lion. He's like a different kind of Japanese samurai-looking animal.
Yeah, that's.
I have no idea what he turns into, but it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you see this stuff, and typically I'll see this as like a 20-image gallery dump on a Facebook post in some group that I just happen to scroll by. But no, these are done, finished toys.
Yeah, these are in like people's houses already.
Yeah.
And the Leos do have different forms. The Nemesis Leo and the Shattered Glass Leo have different beast modes.
Now, does Bonsaitron have a different alt mode versus Bludgeon?
I did not get Bludgeon.
Okay. I guess I'm just assuming they share. Maybe I'm because the Hunt for Decepticons.
Yes, they do share a mold. They are mold mates. I don't know what the other. I assume fairly similar alt modes.
Okay.
But like their gun, the guns that they do come with are not like modern Cybertronian weapons. They look like they're old flintlock.
Oh, sweet.
The lockdown is pretty cool too. Like the alt mode is incredible.
Oh yeah, and he comes with the long curved chain. I have him.
Yeah, it's just the melee weapons are. It's very good. I will give them all the kudos.
You missed Paul.
Wow, Paul
goes to Iron Factory.
Paul,
I like
the third party kudos, huh?
Well, I like creative stuff. I mean, there's still. I don't see any like made up characters, but this is. They put on their thinking caps and smoked some blunts before they made these, and it's.
I've heard every word, Paul, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget the day you complimented third party figures. Except you do it all the time. But...
Well, I mean, there's a time and a place. This is a time and place to do it. Tonight. Thank you for sharing those, Catherine.
Yeah,
welcome. Great. I like to bring you something a little different than the usual.
Yeah, I was excited when you mentioned you were going to show some of the Iron Factory Samurai stuff off, and that did not disappoint.
Bring on the Starscream. I want it.
Oh yeah, once that you'll have to get into it when they drop down. Now, Paul, are you going to get
a good excuse?
Are you going to get the Iron Factory Starscream with the human girl head?
Is that really a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's coming out this year.
Maybe. I mean, I would. I did like the last stuff I bought. I kind of got burnt. I bought a few too many Starscreams, pre-ordered them, and then was like, why did I get this? But the New Age stuff was awesome. So let me look that up.
They're doing two versions. They're doing a 3-pack that are in their former Slipstream mold, which is a small feminine jet. And then they're also doing a basically cosplay girl Starscream. It looks like a woman wearing Starscream parts.
Yeah, do those come together? Like, is that one toy?
That we're not sure of yet.
It's all
So
3D
the
models.
3-pack of the repaints of Slipstream are one thing that they're selling. And then I don't know how they're going to sell the girls yet. I think they're separate.
I'm more interested in the girl.
Like, yeah, me too. It's interesting. It's creative and interesting and weird. And, you know, at the time they first teased it, which was years ago, this was before Alien Attack's Optimal Girl or Optional Girl. And it was also before the Bishojo figures. You know, it was when human girl Transformers would have been a new novel thing. Now there's multiples of them. So it's like, not as amazing, but it's still cool.
It's neat.
Hopefully it comes out this year.
I am probably going to get that Armada Starscream that's coming out. I don't know. Keep me on the list. You know, when we need to learn more about the girl Scream stuff.
I will, because I'll spread that all over our Discord chat. I love it. So weird.
All right, Anna, do you have a round two?
I need to split for the evening, but I will share my round two real fast before. If that's okay with you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
You're
so my round two is my other TFCon exclusive.
More Grimlock.
There you go.
Yellow Dinosaur Face McGee.
Man, they really squeaked that one out before the Hasbro announcement.
Yeah,
the announcement the freaking next week after the con. It's crazy.
I call that just in the nick of time lock.
Yeah, they did a great job with the colors. Like they got a great yellow. They got the blue to accent it. They even did their freaking ages 3 and up bags to match it this year. They're yellow with the blue text on them.
That.
Yeah, you sent me the bags and they're great. I've been walking around all night. Surely I can roll over and grab a gosh darn bag.
He's real pretty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, subtle.
I really like that they did that. It was cute.
Yeah,
Plus they gave me a different color bag. All our bags before were freaking red. Every year I just get more red bags, and I got yellow bag. Yellow's obnoxious. It's great. This is a really great deco. They did a good job on it. There's purples and pinks and reds. It's ridiculous. I don't know if the Hasbro version will go quite as crazy with the colors. They might. I hope they do, because I want everyone to have something this pretty. This is a very pretty, weird thing. I like it a lot. If anybody,
you don't have a ton of time, but I'm confused with this toy. Is this an older toy that they put out in new colors, or is this a brand new mold? Okay.
So it is Fans Project Severo, which came out in like 16, 15. It's a very old toy for third party. It is Grimlock.
Technically, I think it came out in 2017, maybe. Because I swear Columpio came out. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to go back and look. I swear.
Because they did the custom class in 16 was the G2. Because that was where I met you guys, was 16.
Okay, then yeah, you're right. I think you are right then. Okay, it was 16.
He's right here. You're like, ooh, we're the same guy, but I'm customized by Anna, so I'm kind of crappy. But I'm very obnoxious colors. But it's cool. Like it is Fans Project Severo, so it has all the flaws and issues Fans Project Severo had 100 years ago. The motion on the shoulders is limited. Everything else is fine. You know, he has ankle movement because they're on ball joints. He has good articulation. His shoulders are a little hindered by the kibble. His freaking giant guns go on his backpack. That's fun. They come off too. He comes with a giant sword, a giant gun, 2 more giant Gatling guns that he puts on his dinosaur mode. Really ridiculous, over the top guy. The only problem with this guy is that most of the time his chest just falls down like that. Like I managed to kind of get it stuck this way, but it really likes to flop backwards and forwards on me. Very loose and floppy in the chest joint. I don't know if that's just because it's an old mold or bad luck or what. Because this one's pretty solid, my old one. Now I've taken him apart and painted him, which may have fixed the waist joint. Who knows?
Yeah, see, I don't really remember the original one being that bad. So
You know,
yeah, it may just be
flopster.
mold
Yeah, it's pretty
degradation.
bad. It's a pretty bad flop, but I mean, the colors are so good. It's very pretty. It's very nice. It's an easy transformation compared to modern third party. And it is pretty much the same size as Studio Series Grimlock, or yeah, Studio Series Grimlock. Pretty much. Like, they're about the same height in dinosaur mode. This guy's a little taller in robot mode. So if you didn't blow $100 on getting the TFCon exclusive and you find yourself waiting for the yellow version of this guy, you're probably going to be perfectly happy unless you just want mold variety in your life. Those guys still cool.
Mold variety is important.
I'm happy to have this. This is a fun thing to have. I don't transform this one because it's a shitty custom that somebody didn't finish correctly, so the paint scrapes really bad. So I don't transform because I don't want to destroy it utterly. Now I have one I can transform over and over, and it can go floppy flop. Great times.
You almost make me regret not picking him up.
Is it the floppy flop? Is that what gets you?
I really like all of those Fans Project. I really like all those Fans Project Dinobots. Like, I always thought that they were pretty neat set.
They've got great style. They're very stylish.
Yep.
I mean, that was really like one of the first times third party just like they did their own thing with them, right? They're not really War Within looking. They're not really G1. They ended up going like this more barbaric. They put them in Conan scenes for the advertisements. They made the girls with the chainmail bikinis as their other two original figures they made. They went all out on making this Lost Exo Realm ecosystem.
Well,
and
they
then
even came with little Target Master guys too.
They did. They came with Target Master guys. And if you get the Diaclone releases, they came with pilots, right? And this was an extra figure that you could buy along with this. But it's his pilot guy. And I have a big set of those. I have all the weapons. I love Fans Project. I'm a big fan of Fans Project. I really love their Dinobots. I'm still missing Pinchar, though. I'm still actually missing their Snarl. I've never managed to get one. So I need to get freaking Pinchar. Why did you not
buy it off of me when I was selling
I don't know, Lucas. There was something like, I was like, that's too much. It cost $1. I don't know. Back then I had sense, and now my sense is gone. So I regret the sensible things I did.
But yeah, that was the last one. The Snarl was the last one they released, and so it's harder to find.
Yep. It's a little harder to find, yeah. And when you do find it, it costs a little more than the rest of them do. But hey, if they random ass start doing G2 cancel color Dinobots and Fans Project mold, I'll buy the crap out of those. Because I love my Fans Project toys.
If you ever see him on clearance, let me know.
We'll see next year. They might be like, we can't sell this TFCon crap. Man. I'll never sell mine though.
I do appreciate Boris though working with those guys to get these out. Like, you know, they also did the G2 Stunticons as well, the G2 Minosaur, and got all those out. So that was pretty cool.
Shattered Glass Computron, baby. Still waiting.
I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, Paul. I don't know, man.
It has to. I bought 2 pieces. There's 3 more to make.
Paul's also waiting for the last Fans Project Headmaster too, right? Like I can't remember which one it was.
Hardhead,
yeah. So.
Hardhead.
I can't believe you're gonna go, Anna. You're gonna miss my hideous.
I know. I got stuff going going on at the house I got to take care of.
All right.
But
Important.
it's been
All
lovely
right.
sharing with you all. I'm glad I finally get to share my TFCon stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll show you these totally awesome older TFCon exclusives that Catherine also picked up for me, like Orangey McMeow.
Ooh.
She managed to outspend me at the con that she didn't go to.
and his friend Jolly Rancher the Bird.
Well, there you go. See, if you just don't spend the money on the plane tickets and actually attending the convention, you have more money
You
for
can buy a
toys.
ton of goofy exclusives. Well, thanks for having me, Gain. I will see you again soon.
Thanks for sharing. Cool stuff.
See ya.
Don't turn off your podcast because the rest of them have to share toys still. Bye.
It's like our viewership drops to 1.
Right. It's like they're all sitting there going, "Oh, they wave." So
yeah.
All right, Paul.
Because no one's actually listening. They're just.
Right.
I got Jazz.
Oh, nice. What do you think?
Awesome. Look at the back. He's a little, he's got a little bit of a heft there, but I haven't even transformed him. I've just kept him like this because it's just, I love this toy. I love what it represents. I love that it wasn't leaked. I love how good it looks. It just looks amazing.
Bill, was that yours too?
Yep. I found him today.
On the shelf, or did you have to get sneaky?
I found him on the shelf.
Wow. I haven't seen any of these on the shelf. I've had to play games. Mine does have a flaw on it, though. For some reason, this arm has like this big black scrape. It's like etched into the plastic, so whatever. I mean, not a big deal. But I kept seeing pictures. Like I guess people were posting photos with like other accessories that aren't with this toy. It looked like I thought he came with an actual grappling like rope. But I guess what people were doing, what you can do is attach the harpoon to the front of the blaster.
Oh.
And his wrist swivels around so you can attach it into his hand like this. So I don't know, pretty cool. The gun is black. Were you going to show this off, Phil? Was this going to be your thing? Go ahead, because I got something else.
No. Keep talking. I'm just kind of in the background showing them compared to Origin's Bumblebee here as well.
Well, do you got something else to talk about, though?
Yeah, I do. I got other stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, the chest is fake. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it looks so good. And even from the side and the back, like, it's still Jazz, even though it's, like, got some chonk. Like, I mean, I'm still into it. I mean, this is somehow, I like this more than the Studio Series 86 release. It's just more satisfying.
Because the 86 release has those terrible shoulders.
And this one has really, like, linebacker shoulders. He's puffy. This is almost like, Pat Lee designed this toy.
Yeah. I really see that now that you said it. The head's a little small.
He's got like bell bottom feet, like these are not complaints. These are features, not bugs. So I just really enjoy it. I think it's cool. I never thought this would ever exist in my life. So go get it.
Nice.
Before it's
Two good goal toys for you today.
What?
2 good goal toys for you today.
Yeah. You're right. Like thematically, historically relevant toys.
I will say one thing I'm not happy about is I'm showing them here in vehicle mode, like resting on my hand, and you can see like where the shoulders and arms go underneath. And I only transformed once, so I hope I did this right. But I don't know if that's supposed to make him look like he's hovering, but it looks a little bit awkward with the arm kibble, showing underneath him there. I mean, if you just have them sitting, just have them sitting down, you're looking at it, it's like, oh, I don't notice it. Although head on, yeah, you can see there's his chest.
How does that look? How does he look in that mold on Omega's tracks?
Ooh, that'd be fun. I gotta try that out later. So I don't know. Haven't had a chance to do it. I found him this afternoon on my way home from work, and then I had an eye doctor appointment, and then I had dinner with my family, and I had screaming kids. So I haven't had a ton of time to mess around with him. I literally opened him and transformed him just before we went on air.
I look forward to the Omega report.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I'm very pleased with him, and same sentiments you have, Paul. So I'm a little bummed. I thought I was going to be the first person to show him off. I'm like, dang it, Paul, you stole my thunder.
Well, I wish I was worried. I kind of scrambled there.
Yeah, no, you're fine. The other guy I'll show is another Pulse warehouse sale buy, and that is Transformers X over Mater. So we got Mater, the truck here, that turns into an Autobot named Scrap Hook. And yeah, I dig the daylights out of this guy. I mean, I love the Mad Max movies, especially the newest one, Thunder Road, and this definitely looks like it comes right out of that. I feel like this guy and Lockdown would just have a knockdown drag out fight, and maybe that's why Scrap Hook's eye is missing, because not Lockdown gouged it out. But yeah, he is a fun toy. He's the first of these weaponizers that, while he is a parts former, you don't actually need to take him apart to convert him between the two modes. But because he's a weaponizer, like these little engine intake things come off, the exhausts come off, the tire comes off, the hook comes off. So yeah, he breaks down quite a bit, to either beef him up or strip him down, and then you can take off the different chunks here to, kind of customize them when you start to get the other Junkion weaponizer toys here. But yeah, I mean, this was a guy that I know, we had talked about, Paul, you said he's getting kind of hard to find, and they did a weird thing with the Pulse warehouse sale where they had a bunch of toys out the first week, and the sale was 2 weeks long, and all of a sudden on the second Monday of the sale, they're like, we got new stuff that we just added. And it was like, that's like the newest wave of legacy toys that
Right.
like have barely seen its shelves. So, Hot Shot, Needle Nose, and Scrap Hook were part of that. The Stunticon that was in that wave. What was that? Was that Breakdown? Was not part of the sale. But yeah, I got Needle Nose, I got Hot Shot, and I got Scrap Hook at 35% off. So I'm pretty darn pleased. And again, strategy is working out again. And in this case, I barely had to wait longer than people who found them on the shelves or pre-ordered them. So I know that got darn lucky, but in terms of very, very minimal ouch/oof to get this guy. And I'm very, very glad that I did. So I would recommend him.
Yeah, I kind of did a similar strategy, Phil, where I wasn't really necessarily planning on getting them, but the Armada guys, like Armada Starscream and Hotshot, like I kind of was on the fence about whether or not I should get them. And then when they did the pull sale, 35% off, I was like, all right, I guess I'll go ahead and get them for that price. So.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like Luke, Christian was messaging me. He's like, "Hey, Crankcase is on sale. I know you said you want to get Crankcase on sale. Do you want to get Crankcase?" I'm like, "No, he's like a 50% off or lower sale for me to get Crankcase." I don't know. That mold still just doesn't do it for me. Like, no, I need a deeper discount to go ahead and pick him up.
Isn't it nice when your friends let you know when things are on sale?
It is. Yeah.
Even when you don't want them? Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's because of Christian that I found out about the deep discount sale, because he's like, hey, this Marvel Legends set's on sale. And I went to go check that out. I'm like, oh, let's see what else they got going on here. It's like, oh, there's Gatsui. So, yeah.
Wait, you're really good at paying it forward.
I am. Love you, Paul. So, yeah, it's I don't know. I'm happy with it. I'm happy that my strategy is panning out. So far, so good.
Yeah. one thing I was going to go back on Jazz that Zaldrona mentioned earlier, and he says that this is what Siege should have been. And I think we all 100% agree with that now, especially at this point, that, Siege is almost like, I don't know, it was kind of somewhat annoying for me because a lot of those figures are too close to their Earthrise counterparts, where it's like I almost don't necessarily want that. Like they're not Cybertronian enough, and so I think these guys like this Jazz or the Bumblebee I think look really cool, and it's something that you could have both of them in your collection. But I don't know, some of the Siege toys, it's like, it's piles of regret for me.
Now, Lucas, let me ask you a question: did we get a Siege Jazz or a Siege Bumblebee?
No. I'm trying to think. I don't think we did. No.
Oh, okay.
did
So who say these can't be?
We did get a War for Cybertron Bumblebee. It was kind of a big deal.
Which Bumblebee was that again? I can't remember. Was it this one? Is this the one? I forget.
That's close enough.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But we didn't get a vehicle mode Bumblebee from Siege.
Listen,
we got the Netflix Volkswagen Beetle, but we didn't get a Cybertronian mode for Bumblebee.
Right.
No, we never saw it.
Well, you could say it's the one Lucas just held up.
Right, but I'm also saying it could be this. We don't know. It could be this. My point is these could be the Siege versions. These characters just didn't exist or have alt modes in that fiction or toy line. So
yeah, and they didn't, and so that's not what they are. Those are origin toys. Those are a new line.
They could double dip. Come on.
They could, but they didn't.
I'm just being an a-hole right now, so just don't ignore me, please.
No, you already are. Trust me. So I am just setting the record straight. Origin is another weird, through line of Transformers. It's closer to Studio Series 86 than anything else. It's screen accurate alt modes instead of like the robot mode. I mean, the robot's pretty damn screen accurate too. It's kind of its own thing, but it's just another subline of Generations.
Right. So I'm just saying the new things are very cool. I'm saying that Siege is already showing its age, because of some of these new ones. But I guess this is what Hasbro does. So
well, they messed up. They struck a chord by saying Cybertronian mode, and then all the fans are like, they went and hitched their wagon to that statement instead of really all Siege was the TV show that they were making. We made these whatever they are. Yeah. That's what it is. They're on Cybertron. It's when they're on Cybertron. Not the old one, the new one. Just like how Jetfire looks exactly like the Siege toy or the Siege model, but then you got MP57, which is G1 Skyfire. They're two different dudes. So, yeah.
So, there we go. All right. So I guess I'll show more. Generations goodness. So I also picked up animated Prowl, and so this is another one that I wasn't gonna get, but then I broke down and got it too, and I'm very happy with him. He is just has a lot of personality. Overall, love the head sculpt.
I like the cricket wings.
So yeah, it is a really cool version of him. One thing that's interesting, so he has little throwing stars, I guess, thing, whatever his weapon thing that go on the side of the wheels that attach via magnets. However, I feel like they fall off kind of easily, so you have to kind of watch them a little bit that when you're messing with it. But yeah, it's kind of a neat gimmick. It's the first time I've actually seen this done from Hasbro.
Yeah, I didn't know they were trying magnets out.
Yeah, that's news to me.
How do they work?
That's the breaking news right now.
Yeah, that's like
magnets.
that's amazing. That's a way to bury the lead, making it the last answer tonight. Holy cow!
I think
Yeah,
they're
because the
magnets as far
Transformers
as I know.
animated toy is just held on with friction, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is magnets. So, yeah.
Stick it by your hard drive. See what it does.
I don't think they're not that strong. Is
Oh, okay.
what I'm saying.
Just try your cell phone then.
But anyway, so yeah, and he's pretty clean overall. So
I really
yeah.
dig that khaki color they did for his thighs and his hands. It gives him a very like California Highway Patrol like chips. Like I'm just like Ponch and John are gonna be riding around on him, on their weekly adventures.
How is his bike mode?
I actually have not transformed him yet because I just got him like yesterday. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna transform it live on air. So, but
You should though, because I got something else to show. You can do it while I do that.
You're flaming
what
hot
else you
Dorito?
got to show, Paul?
I got some contraband.
Contraband.
Feast your eyes
Ooh.
upon a prototype MPM-10 Starscream toy.
Could they put more colors on that?
Well, what I believe, the way this is built, this is to show like the mold trees as built onto the toy. I don't know, maybe. What's also cool is you can see where the metal pieces are because they're unpainted. I mean, I think they're actually unpainted on the final. Really, like the feet are you can very clearly tell they're metal on the final piece. And yeah. Anyways, yeah, this is something special I got. It popped up. I got a chance to get it, and every once in a while I like to dabble in this sort of stuff. And this is, I believe this came out. This was available because of the Revenge of the Fallen version that's coming out. So there seem to be a bunch of these that have flooded the market currently in various ways. So
Impressive.
yeah, this is a fancy Dorito stream.
So why are those flooding the market then? People are trying to get money for the new prototype or what?
Just I couldn't say. I just know that this is not. I mean, this might actually be these are all one of a kind in some way or another. But there's other like crazy colored copies of this toy that are out right now.
Now, I'm not familiar with prototypes. Is there a way to verify that? I mean,
there's not a certificate of authenticity if that's what you're.
Well, no, I mean like a marking distinct like that shows like, oh, this is from Hasbro or.
There may be sometimes. In this particular one, I don't believe there are any like I have a variety of prototypes, but I remember around the 2007 era movie, I have one what they were doing to try to stop them from getting onto the market was like melting the faces of them, like they would actually like melt. They would like just put a hot like I don't know what soldering iron like put it into the face. Dude, that just makes it even more cool. Like I don't know, like you can't stop it. If you're at the level where like this kind of thing makes you go crazy, like there's nothing you can do to stop someone from wanting to get this kind of stuff if it's out there. So
you have Baber Scrapeface then?
I do. It's actually featured on the Sabertron.com galleries of movie Starscream.
Nice.
Because that was at a tipping point with Transformers, and some of that stuff was showing up, and it was like the first time we'd seen some of the designs, and we knew that it was kind of a big deal to get that toy because We didn't really like, what is this Dorito looking dude? How are they going to make this turn into a jet? What the hell? And this is the first time that they had ever tried to, make live action Transformers transform. So I don't know. I have a cluster of these kind of things, and this one, you don't usually find masterpiece ones very often. Large, complicated, 100+ part toys that are in wild colors, and I'm very happy with this. It looks even crazier in jet mode. It's almost like Vardia.
So you have transformed it?
I turned it from a jet into this. It's a very pink jet in the end. So, anyway, I don't want to harp on it too long. I just kind of I wanted to show that off. I just got it. And it's
nice. Congratulations.
Well, very cool.
You got that motorcycle?
No, not yet. Sorry. Sorry, Paul. Unfortunately, sitting here trying to do it, for the first time, I don't know that I'm going to get through the full transformation here.
Well, if you're interested in this kind of prototype stuff, really, you kind of have to know the right people. That's all I can say. Because when this popped up, someone reputable told me, like, hey, I know you like Stars. As a friend, connection I'd made over the past 10 years, just like, oh, by the way, I saw this. Maybe you should check it out. And I was like, oh my God. I found out a whole new marketplace website in China to find this stuff, and there is some wild stuff on there right now, like crazy.
So the right people is not eBay?
Not so much anymore. There was a time when if you search eBay for Transformers prototype, I used to have just a straight up search notification for Transformers and the word prototype. But there's not so much anymore. It's I don't know if they've cracked down on it somehow.
Because 7-8 years ago, that's how we found out about new molds that were coming out. Is the prototypes would show up on eBay.
Yeah, and that's where I've bought a lot of mine. I have a BotCon Shattered Glass Starscream that's a prototype before I had it before the show, and it's actually unique. It has a paint app that's different. So I'm I was so excited. I brought it to BotCon 2007 and got the final at the store, and I brought it. I was like, yeah, I have a difference. Mine is unique. Holy shit! So that was I don't know. This stuff it gets kind of addicting, to get into this world, and I don't recommend it for the faint of heart. It can be very expensive, but sometimes people are selling prototypes dirt cheap because they're not normal they're not toys people want, But imagine you got a prototype of MP44. That's a flagship toy. That's a big deal. That's a massive get as a proto. That's a historical piece of history. I don't know.
But the prototype for Wingfinger from the Kingdom line is not going to be worth as much?
Probably not. I mean, it really depends. It depends on the buyer market is so small. I'm not buying Wingfinger prototypes just because it exists. That's just, I'm only looking for Starscreams because it really works. It keeps my collection better than everyone else's. to put it the crassest that I can. Not everyone has a Skittles MPM 10. So, wow.
Very cool.
The motorcycle? Did you give up?
No, I gave up. So that's okay.
All right.
So sorry, Paul. Not quite the shrapnel's transformation. So.
Is he shrapnel again or still scrapnel?
I think it's shrapnel. I don't know.
I think we're back on track with shrapnel.
Yeah, him and Trailbreaker got their names back.
Well, not Slag though. He's still a slimy wart.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks guys for showing that stuff off. It was fun seeing all the different new stuff that people got. So, especially some Skittles.
Taste the rainbow.
So there you go. I was going to mention book club this week is going to be Transformers: The Headmasters, chapters 4 through 8. Daniel and Six Shot, Friends Forever. So it's going to be on the TF Talk Discord on Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. So yeah.
All I gotta say, Headmasters is a tough watch as a dub, or at all in general.
But as a manga, we get to enjoy the adventures of our favorite ninja consultant.
Yeah. Oh, so it's the manga, not the. You're not watching the show.
No, we're doing.
That's why it's called
Okay.
Book Club.
No, well, Earthspark isn't a goddamn book, Phil. So they did that recently.
They have watched some shows.
The point I was trying to make is that that's one of the cool things of Headmasters is Daniel and
Billy
Six Shot sort of
yeah.
friended up. It's cool.
So, all right. Well,
friendship is magic.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Ron, Zaldron. Thanks to Ryan. Thanks to Anna. Thanks to Jay. Else we get anybody else? So, but yeah, thanks, guys, and we will see everyone next week. Bye.
Bye.